Have you ever dreamed of visiting Thailand? The beautiful beaches, the busy streets of Bangkok, the colorful night markets, and the delicious food everywhere. In today's video, you're going to experience an interesting and emotional story about a young traveler who visits Thailand alone and slowly discovers a completely new world. Through this story, you will improve your English listening and learn simple daily English in a natural and relaxing way. This video is perfect for English learners because the story uses simple English, clear sentences, daily conversation, and easy vocabulary. You will learn English while enjoying travel experiences, friendships, funny moments, cultural discoveries, and exciting adventures in Thailand. So relax, listen carefully, and enjoy the journey. And now, let the story begin. When Ethan arrived in Thailand, the first thing he noticed was the heat. Warm air surrounded him the moment he stepped outside the airport. Cars moved loudly through crowded streets. People walked quickly in every direction. Bright signs covered the buildings. Everything felt alive. Ethan stood quietly beside his suitcase and looked around Bangkok for the first time. He felt excited, but also nervous. Back home, his life had become boring and repetitive. Every day felt exactly the same. Work, sleep, phone, repeat. He wanted change. That was why he came to Thailand. Not because he had a perfect plan, but because he wanted to feel alive again. As the taxi moved through the city, Ethan looked outside the window with amazement. Street food stands filled the sidewalks. Motorbikes moved between cars. Small shops stood beside giant modern buildings. Bangkok felt chaotic, but strangely beautiful. For the first time in a long time, Ethan smiled without forcing it. Ethan booked a cheap hotel near the center of Bangkok. The room was small but comfortable. There was a bed, a fan, a desk, and a tiny balcony. Outside the balcony, Ethan could hear traffic all night. At first, he could not sleep. The city never seemed to rest. But after a few days, he slowly became used to it. Every morning, he walked through busy streets searching for breakfast. The smells were everywhere. Grilled chicken, rice, spices, sweet drinks, fresh fruit. Thailand felt completely different from home. Even simple things felt exciting. One morning, Ethan sat at a small street restaurant and ordered fried rice. The old woman cooking smiled warmly at him. Even though they spoke different languages, her kindness made him feel comfortable. That was something Ethan quickly noticed in Thailand. Many people were warm and welcoming. Even small human moments felt meaningful. One evening, Ethan visited a famous night market. Colorful lights filled the streets. Music played from nearby shops. Tourists walked everywhere carrying bags of food and souvenirs. The atmosphere felt energetic and exciting. Ethan slowly explored the market. He tried mango sticky rice for the first time. The sweet mango and warm rice tasted incredible. Nearby, a young musician played guitar while people gathered around. Children laughed. Friends took pictures. Street vendors called out to customers. Everything felt alive. As Ethan walked through the market, he suddenly realized something surprising. For the first time in months, he was not thinking about stress, not thinking about work, not thinking about problems back home. He was simply enjoying the moment, and that feeling felt rare. Although Thailand felt exciting, loneliness still followed Ethan sometimes. At night, when he returned to his hotel room, silence filled the space. He missed familiar voices. He missed home. Traveling alone sounded exciting online. But in reality, it could also feel emotionally difficult. One rainy evening, Ethan sat near the hotel window watching motorcycles move through wet streets below. The city lights reflected beautifully on the road. He suddenly realized something important. Back home, he always stayed busy to avoid his thoughts. But here in Thailand, There were quiet moments where he had no choice except to sit with himself. And slowly, he began understanding himself better. What he truly wanted, what made him unhappy, and what kind of life he actually dreamed about. After several weeks in Bangkok, Ethan decided to visit an island in southern Thailand. The journey took many hours. Bus, boat, walking. But when he finally arrived, the view looked unbelievable. Clear blue water stretched endlessly beside white sand beaches. Palm trees moved gently in the wind. The air smelled fresh and salty. Everything felt peaceful. Ethan rented a small bungalow near the beach. Every morning, he woke up to the sound of waves. No traffic, no stress, only nature. One afternoon, he sat quietly watching the sunset over the ocean. The sky slowly turned orange, pink, and purple. Other travelers sat nearby enjoying the same view silently. And in that moment, Ethan felt something he had not felt in years. Peace. Real peace. Traveling alone became easier after Ethan met other travelers. At a beach cafe, he started talking with a group of people from different countries. At first, the conversation felt awkward, but slowly everyone relaxed. They shared travel stories, funny mistakes, dreams, future plans. Some conversations lasted late into the night. Ethan realized something interesting. When people travel, they often become more open, more honest. Maybe because everyone is temporarily outside normal life. For the first time in a long while, Ethan felt connected to people again. Not through social media, not through work, but through real conversation. And those moments became some of his favorite memories in Thailand. One morning, Ethan visited a famous Buddhist temple. The atmosphere felt calm and peaceful. Golden statues reflected sunlight beautifully. Visitors walked quietly through the temple grounds. Some people prayed silently. Others simply sat peacefully in silence. Ethan noticed how different the energy felt compared to the busy city outside. Inside the temple, everything slowed down. Even time itself felt slower. An old monk smiled kindly at Ethan while sweeping leaves near a tree. The monk looked calm, completely calm, and Ethan suddenly wondered something. Why did modern life always feel so rushed? Why were people constantly chasing something? Money, success, attention, approval. Yet moments of peace felt far more valuable. That day, Ethan stayed at the temple longer than expected. Not because he fully understood Buddhism, but because the quiet atmosphere made him feel lighter inside. Months passed. Without realizing it, Ethan slowly changed. He stopped checking his phone every few minutes. He became more patient, more observant, more grateful for simple things. Thailand changed the way he looked at life. He learned that happiness did not always come from big achievements. Sometimes happiness looked like sharing food with strangers, watching sunsets, walking through markets, listening to rain, or laughing during simple conversations. One evening, Ethan sat beside the ocean thinking about his old life back home. For years, he believed success meant constantly working harder. But now he understood something different. A meaningful life also needs rest, connection, peace, and experiences. And maybe that was the real reason he came to Thailand, not to escape life, but to rediscover it. Eventually, Ethan's trip came to an end. At the airport, he looked around quietly. Months earlier, he arrived feeling confused and emotionally tired. Now, he felt different. Not perfect, not completely transformed, but stronger somehow. Thailand gave him memories he would never forget. The night markets, the beaches, the street food, the conversations, the peaceful mornings, the loneliness, the growth. As the airplane left the ground, Ethan looked down at the lights below, and he smiled quietly. because deep inside he knew something important. This journey was not really about Thailand. It was about becoming a new version of himself. Sometimes traveling changes more than your location. Sometimes it changes your heart, your thinking, your understanding of life. And sometimes the most important journeys begin when a person simply decides to try something new. Maybe one day you will visit Thailand too. Maybe you will discover something unexpected there. Or maybe you will discover something inside yourself.